Hi, my name is Victor Wright, and we're here for An Evening with Terry Crews, brought to you by ASI Beach Pride Events. With us here today is 22S Media, DigMag, Daily 49er, and ASI Communications Video Productions. So let's jump right in. Hi, Terry. Can I call you Terry?
Yes, you may. Yes, you may.
Thank you. Nice to have you here. We have probably the biggest burning question that everyone is thinking about right now, and it comes from Jody Johnson at Dig Magazine. It's, if they were to make a sequel, would you sign on for White Chicks 2?
Let me see. Let me think about that one. Hell yeah! Man, that movie changed my life forever. I've been waiting. You know what? I'm gonna give all the secrets out right now. We were going to do White Chicks 2.
Yep.
The whole thing, they had a script ready, everything was ready to go, and this was years ago, and it just fell apart overnight.
Yep.
And I was crushed. I was hurt, and I don't know what else to say. I know it was one of those things, you're just like, no, what's happening? And you just have to keep living on your life and whole thing, so keep the other movies going. But it was good.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah,
no,
I think it might. I'm hearing something about a new resurgence, especially from Marlon, and so we'll see. We'll see. I just want all the crew back.
For sure. Like in that movie, you were a comedian, right? And in an interview with Deadline magazine, you said that sometimes you feel that the public thinks of you as a fighter, and you see yourself more as an artist. How do you feel about that public perception that you're a fighter?
Wow. I mean, after playing in the NFL, you would think, guys have this image of, especially in a guy who looks like I do. I look like I've taken a few punches, and I have. So it's one of those things that I always call myself a unicorn. That's the thing, because it's like, there hasn't been anyone like me. And I remember even when I first started in entertainment, I was getting the killer roles, or the murderer guy, or the bodyguard dude. And I remember just introducing small bits of comedy, even in those little roles. And they were like, wait a minute, do that again. Do that one more time, and it's just started becoming what I became. It's kind of wild, but it's actually by being myself, being who I really, really am, has created a whole new lane for me. And like I said, I am an artist in every way, from painting, drawing, illustration, the whole thing. And, it's just that I'm in this body, and that's the way it works.
Yeah, for sure. And by the way, thank Joel Vaughn from 22S Magazine for that question.
Oh, that's good.
It's interesting that you're saying like how you're kind of going through all of these things, because Jess Kung from 22S Video, he says you seem like you have a diverse group of fans who know you for different projects. Yeah. How would you describe your different kinds of fans?
Oh man, it's wild because, I have the action fans who are from, you get those guys from Expendables and all that stuff, and then you have the sports fans and sports movie fans went from, when I did The Longest Yard and that kind of thing. Then you have the comedy fans who are like the comedy club guys who love Idiocracy or Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And then you have the family church people fans who are like, everybody hates Chris. You're such a good father. You're so amazing. You get those things. And it's wild because you are different things to different people. And those worlds do not intersect.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy. And then you're talking about just the fans that come from, me telling my story, and me doing it, just being honest and coming out and saying the issues that I have. It's kind of like, there are people who are like, I don't watch any of the movies you've been in, but I like what you say, And I'm always respectful of every fan. It's funny because when people come up to me, I don't know which one they are. Yeah. It was while I was holding my grandbaby the other day at the airport, and this guy was like, remember this shit at Christmas? And you're like, hey, man, hey, I got a baby. And I know who you are, and I know what you are. And then there's another kind of fan, which is the Old Spice fan, which is a whole nother thing right there, man. They're like, oh! You're like, stop screaming, how you doing? But it's honorable to me, and just lets me know that you can be more than one thing. And I would love to always tell that to other people, and I'm glad to kind of live it out.
Yeah, thank you. And you kind of talked about how people are fans about you speaking just your life and everything. EJ John from 22 West Magazine, he asks, given the recent activism regarding sexual assault in the entertainment industry, what are your hopes and expectations for how it will be handled in the future?
Wow. First of all, it's got to play out with me. I am a living, breathing example of what's going to happen. You can look at me, look at how my whole situation turns out, and I know for a fact that what happens with me is going to determine how this whole thing goes, almost for everyone. Because what's wild is that, I'm one of the few people who actually has, litigation pending. A lot of accusations and a lot of these things are much older than statute of limitations. And even with me, my case got thrown out because the year of statute of limitations was up. But I'm still continuing my civil lawsuit. And we're going to see where this plays out, man. And there's a lot of people that are waiting to see. And I tell everyone right now, it's so wild because even when the case got thrown out, people were like, oh, man, this messed up. I'm like, oh, whoa, this is the third quarter. It's the third quarter. There's a whole fourth quarter left. The game is not over. This whole thing is not done. And I love being the example. And I'll be perfectly honest with you. It does not matter what happens at the end. What matters is what you prove. What matters is that things are revealed. What matters is now people are talking that weren't talking before.
Right.
And this world, we will never ever go back. We will not go back to the way it was. And I want to make sure of it. It changed my life forever.
Nice. I think in that same regard, you are seen as someone who just kind of oozes masculinity, right? How important was it for you to talk about your own experiences?
Well, I mean, I made all the masculine mistakes. That's the thing. When you say ooze masculinity, it sounds like a fart to me sometimes. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's not. Yeah. Sometimes it's not a good thing. One thing is, and listen, I'm not saying it's bad to be a man. That is not what I'm saying. It's weird because I have to get into, because now when you say masculinity, everybody's like, oh, you're dogging it out. But I'm not dogging it out. The key word, and it's been used a lot, is just toxic masculinity. Things can become toxic when you have things that become radioactive. Hey, the drink was fine, and now it's radioactive. So now don't drink it. I'm not talking about real, true being a man and true masculinity. I'm talking about the stuff that gets mixed up into the whole mix. When the pride and the issues, when it's all about domination and control and basically, using other people for your own good and then enjoying it. And then saying that's the way the world's supposed to be. Stepping on your anyone that's around you so you can go up, it's wrong. Yep. It's wrong. I was guilty. I was that guy. And, when I talk about, the thing is, what's wild is that the way I look and the way, and my size and, the way you would see me in any other light, it really changes the game. This is why I say I'm a unicorn, in that I'm talking about things that you haven't heard. Because when you look at the media, you look at a guy like me, he's rapping about pimps, and he's doing this, and he's talking about that, and he got 15 girlfriends, and all that. I'm not that dude. Never been. But there's plenty of guys like me. Yeah. Tons of guys like me. And it's really not like it doesn't exist. It's just that you haven't seen it. And I'm here to force you. Like right now, I have the biggest platform ever, and there's so many guys that are like, you just like me. And I'm like, yo, man, I'm representing for you. I'm right here. And I force people who want to put everyone in boxes, and I force them to see that I exist. You have to acknowledge me because here I am. And it's so funny. The biggest thing is, You know, and it's really insulting sometimes when you go, I remember when I was a kid and I would talk, they're like, wow, you sound so intelligent. It's like, whoa, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's weird.
It is very weird.
Yeah.
It's very weird. But the deal is that they totally expected me to not be able to talk.
Right.
That's an image. That's a campaign. And I'm going a whole other way, you know, by being myself.
For sure. And in that same vein, from Sabrina Flores at Daily 49er, what can you say to males struggling to speak out about their own experiences with sexual assault?
Wow. First of all, you know, I used to be, this is the thing, it's wild because as I'm going along, I'm learning, man. It's like, I used to be like, tell, you know, you can tell, I told you can tell. No. First of all, coming out and telling and really expressing what happened to you, it's like trying to fly a DC-10 airplane from LA to New York and you've never flown a plane before. That's how hard it is. The greatest fear unto death, right after death, is public speaking. So the whole thing is if you come with an accusation, you are now privy to all the eyes. But this is the thing that's different about me. I've been flying planes all the time. I have been flying DC-10s. I am used to the public eye. I've been out there. I've been talking about this masculinity thing and addiction to pornography since 2013. And then my book came out in 2014. And what's wild is I've been doing this for a while. I've already endured public embarrassment or public, and this is the thing. I actually call it my superpower, is being unembarrassable. But the big deal is that you have to gain three things. Usually, to come out about your sexual assault, you have to have distance physically, you have to have distance emotionally, and you have to have distance financially. When that trifecta, that pyramid comes into your life, usually now you have the strength to come out. But if one of those things has not happened yet, it's extremely, extremely hard. So I'm repping for the people who can't. Yeah. And you don't understand, so many men, and I say thousands of men have come up to me and said, that happened to me, but I could never tell. I can't. And I understand it. I understand it. Yeah. I used to be like, man, we don't know. But now I get it. But one day, you will have the strength. See, this is the thing. And this is why I think this has got to change. The statute of limitations has to change. Because what does it mean? Like, if it happened 10 years ago, does that mean he didn't do it? You understand what I mean? It makes no sense to me when you have these heinous crimes with a statute of limitations. It's murder. Like, I did it. Oh, man, I got away with my murder. It's 20 years is up. Yeah. That makes no sense at all. Not one. And if you do something that heinous, that criminal, you should be, what if it happens when you're a child? And you're 5 years old, and finally you tell when you're 20, is it over? He got away?
Yeah.
Can't do that. I'm sorry. I'm going to go all day on this one.
We only have a couple minutes left, and I for sure want to ask this one question. I've had it for a while now. In the show Everybody Hates Chris, you played Julius, right?
Yes.
And he never spent that much money. But given his muscle mass, he has to eat at least 40 to 50 grams of protein a meal, adding up to 200 grams of protein a day and about 10,000 calories. Where does he get the money for his food?
That's true. But see, this is what's so funny, is I don't even eat 10,000 calories a day. I do intermittent fasting.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He works like a dog every day. He gets those muscles from working. He does his thing. And this is the thing, too. It's funny because I've seen some guys who are just naturally big, you know, and I'm one of them, which is kind of wild because with my intermittent fasting, as long as I keep the fat quotient down, I stay 240. It's nuts. I mean, I could eat one meal a day. Today, literally, I had one meal and I had a yogurt in the break room. Okay. This is what I do, and it's not that bad. So, Julius is a big boy, man.
I forgot to carry the one. That's why I missed. That's what was going on. Yeah. You talked about like how you've been flying planes your entire life. I've never flown a plane, and we have a question. Any advice for students going into a career field where they are a minority?
Wow. First of all, I have always looked at being a minority as an advantage. That's my thing. I look at me and I say, man, look at this brown skin. Nobody's got a skin like me. Nobody's got a bald head like me. Nobody got the scar on their lip like me. Nobody has have an experience like me. And that's my advantage. That's what makes me different.
Yeah.
And the thing is that it's not that you're better. It's just that only you can provide what you can bring to whatever you do. But the problem is that if you think you're at a disadvantage, you are. As a man thinketh, so is he. If you think, you go in there, oh man, I'm black, and they all gonna be looking at me like they don't want me here. Well, guess what? You're gonna give off the attitude that nobody wants you there. And it is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Once I start to feel like and realize that everything about me, and that's what I want to tell anyone, if you're a woman, if you're Hispanic, if you're Asian, that's your advantage. That is the thing that makes you different, that will propel you to where you're supposed to go. I love what's happening now. When you look at movies like Black Panther or Get Out or a series like Insecure, where now you could take a story and you insert a whole diverse culture inside of it, and it's a brand new viewpoint, instantly. And that's your advantage. It's now, people are now beginning to see it. And you know what's funny is that it's not that Hollywood was ever holding people back in this respect. It's that now the people of diverse cultures have now realized is that they always had the power. See, that's two different ways to go about it. You could think, oh, they're holding me back. Or you could think, wait a minute, why am I waiting on them? Why am I waiting on these guys? I can do it myself. I can write my own thing. I can put my own thing out. And that goes for every culture, for every gender, for wherever you are. You don't have to wait on anybody. And that eye-opener, all of a sudden, things start to happen. This is magic. It can't stop you.
Thank you very much, Terry Crews, for coming. And this has been just a great honor to sit here with you.
Thank you. Long Beach State.